Hello students, this is a tutorial on how to download Audacity, how to use it, and how to create and upload your podcast in Podomatic. So, let's begin. First thing, starting with Google, we only type Audacity. Here, the first option will be actually the site from their official site to download them. Here we have the download option. Here we have the different systems, so you would need to choose the one suitable for your system. In my case, we have Windows. We select here which will we have now some of the requirements and some versions. This would be the full version in this case, which is the installer, including the user manual. It's a good idea to check that. We would click here. This will take us to FuzzHub, which is the official site to download for Audacity. In my case, again, we'll look for our specific installer, which is Windows in my case. And here we have the download. This might take a while because it depends on actually your speed, your internet speed. So I already have it downloaded. Let me get it here. So we would run this program. It would ask us for permission on how to use it, to run it as an administrator. So now we would need to select the type of installation, the type of language. You can select English or Spanish as you wish. We would get now to the installer part. Here we have the information for the setup, the privacy. Now you would need to select a folder for you to install the program. In my case, well, it says that it already exists since I already have it installed. Let's select yes only to show you what would happen. This would also be a good idea. Select to create a desktop shortcut. You would select next. And on install, you would get a really nice bar here, coloring green. And once it's finished, you will get an option on how to run it. You would need to select that. You can also go to the desktop and select the option in this case. Now that we have Audacity open, we have here a little ad. Remember, it's a good idea to check the manual. So, we start like this. In general, this is the interface of Audacity, which is actually quite simple. So don't worry, you don't need a lot to record your podcast. So first thing, I really recommend that you plug your microphone before running the program. In this case, it will automatically recognize it. If not, you can go in this bar, in this toolbar. This will show you which is the microphone. In my case, I have this Steinberg, which is actually connected to my microphone. This is my interface. Remember that using a microphone will be a mono recording. It's only one sound, okay? Make sure it's in mono, not really stereo. And next, over here, you will have the output. Where does the sound will come out? In my case, it's the same interface, but you will also have here usually the normal output for your computer or any type of speakers that you have connected to it. So now once that we have this, we need to go to tracks and we add a new track. Remember, it needs to be a mono track. So with this, we can basically start recording. Over here, you will see the basic controls, which is to record, to play back or play, to pause and to stop. And we have here to skip to the start, to skip to the end. Basically, that's the controls that we need in order to make our recording. Then, I also recommend here, take a look at the toolbar. We have here an option to start monitoring here. It says click to start monitoring. This will help you to check if your microphone actually works. So now that I've clicked on it, you can see that it is actually picking up my recording, the level of my voice. So it's a good idea that you make sure it's on this high level. But beware, if the sound is too loud, you will see the recording level, this little bar, turning into yellow and eventually to red. So you need to try to avoid this, because by that moment the sound will get distorted. So it's not really a good idea. Next, also here you have the levels, the level of the microphone, the recording level, and also you have here in general, this is the volume of the playback of the output. This sometimes may be connected to the level, to the volume of your computer actually. So if you see, it actually moves a little bit. If I select here 62, over here you can see 62 now, so it is paired actually with my computer sound as well. Alright, so now let's begin. To record your podcast, you only need to select the red button and to start speaking. Once you're finished, you are sure you're finished, you can select stop, or you can just pause it if you want to continue, to take a break, or if you think you've made a mistake. Let's do a brief recording in this case. Hello, my name is Benjamin Reyes. Welcome to my podcast. We can stop there. Alright, if you noticed, I left a very brief space before starting my recording. I recommend this. I will mention this in a moment. What is a tip on this to record your podcast? So now let's imagine that we have all our podcasts in this line. You can use Control and the mouse scroll to zoom in or zoom out of the recording based on where your mouse pointer is. You can actually see this, no? The lines and the waves of the sound, which is pretty neat. Okay, you can always go back with this button. So let's imagine that you have your complete podcast now. Some of the options of the effects that I actually recommend in this case. Okay, if you double click and it's a complete podcast, a complete line, you will select all the track. Then you can select an effect that will affect all of the recording. In this case, I recommend to use first one thing, to normalize. This will bring your recording, it will cut the high peaks, and it will also elevate a little bit the sounds that are the lowest. You can just select what it's the default in this case, and it will help you. Notice how my recording actually moved. It increased sized, right? Another option that I recommend using is that you can select a point, a little space here, and since this part actually has no noise in the beginning, this little space, you can select this part, and this is another useful effect for the podcast. You can select the noise reduction one. First, you get the noise profile. So this will detect the regular background noise that is on the recording. This is the first step. It will pick it up. Fortunately, I have a very clean sound actually with the interface, so this is actually pretty good. But the second step is to select it now, all your track. You go once again to Effect, and now you select the noise reduction option once again. But this time you go to step number 2. I recommend using the default one. This works pretty good. So if you click on this, this will actually reduce the moments of your line in which you are not really speaking about this. So now that you have your podcast and that it has a nice volume that you think it's pretty good, you can go back, you can reproduce it. When you think it's ready, I recommend that you go as a file, and here you select the export option. This will give you the proper format, and you can select MP3, which is one of the most common and one of the lightest ones. It will go to folder from Audacity. Let's select a little name. Now I can write podcast. Very good. Podcast MP3. But okay, this one is in my documents in Audacity. Alright, so now we save this. No problem, we can add information or any other thing that we would like. We select OK. And now guys, so let's go to Podomatic. So we select once again, we go to Google, we can just type in, here I have it actually, Podomatic. Again, the first option will actually bring you to the main site. I'm actually entering to my account, so let's log out so that you can see how does it look. You will see this black screen. The idea is to go here, create a free podcast. You can sign up with your Facebook or with an email. If you already have an account, you can select this. This will bring you to a page in which you will open your Facebook account and it will get connected. Or in here, you can just write your email and a name for that. In my case, I already have an account. I have here my mail and my password. So I would need just to log in. And let's go. Right here, we have the first option to post new. This would be easy. Once you start creating your account, it will actually get you to some questions in your profile. It will probably ask you about where you're from, what type of podcast you want to record. This is basic information, so it's just a matter of selecting the information that they ask for, typing in, and then moving on. But once you're ready, let's go back. Okay, so you have here your podcast. In general, you select create. You post, actually here it is now, post a new episode. So we would need here to add files. Select our file, which is in my case in Documents, Audacity. Here I have podcast. I need to upload the file. This is pretty neat. It will tell you the progress that you have. Now that it has 100%, you can enter a title. We can say podcast test in this case. The description, this is a test. That's it. Yeah. You can also choose an image if you would like to upload something. In this case, I can select to skip this step, which I don't want to really upload an image. I recommend that you select the music part, which will give you a bit of more high quality. This will help you in order to get more, to get a better sound. We hit continue, and finally here you can publish your episode. Once you're here, this is pretty neat. You go to your profile, and when you're setting it, it will actually give you a time to find your link. It will give you actually a link so that you can share your profile, so that you can share your playlists, your episodes about your podcast in this case. I hope that these have been useful. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to see and hear from you very soon. Don't forget that you need to share your links, so that we can all listen to your podcast. Thank you for watching.